Hello everyone, this is Jack Frost with your daily update for the Ethereum Technicals and Solana. And today I am updating the weekly charts on the Ethereum weekly chart. Price has previously consolidated within resistance at 4130 and support now resistance at 2800. Price previously broke below support now resistance at 2800, coming back to test it and is now moving lower. Volume supports downwards movement with the strongest volume on the bearish candlesticks and a push on these most recent two bearish candlesticks. An additional push on this last low just here, where price moved down to support at 2100, as I will show on the daily chart in a second, may indicate that this low could be sustained, as I have mentioned in countless previous videos, though we do still require bullish or bearish confirmation for confidence in whether that low may or may not be sustained. ADX continues to increase with a bearish trend that is still somewhat in its early stages, not extreme and not yet in danger of ending, overall expecting price to continue lower. On-balance volume has previously broken out of support, giving a bearish signal. It has come back to test support, now resistance. Just change the color there, and as it reacts to resistance, it gives a bearish signal, now moving lower, which supports the bearish trend indicated by ADX at this time frame. RSI neutral and declining. Money flow also neutral and declining. Neither RSI or money flow exhibit divergence at this time frame. ATR previously steadily increased along with price, now moving sideways with a little bit of a bearish slope as price moves sideways, giving an overall bullish outlook for volatility. And as this trend indicated by ADX is not yet extreme and not yet in danger of ending, it does expect price to continue lower. Though as I have previously mentioned, it is possible that the spike in range and volume for the most recent low could indicate that it may be sustained at this point. Though if price makes an additional low below that recent low where price found support around 2100, there will be additional confidence in this trend from ADX, seeing price to continue lower. On the technical daily chart from Ethereum, price has increased a little bit after its last low, finding support at 2100, moving overall sideways, currently finding support at 2400. Volume supports downwards movement for the mid-term with the strongest volume on these bearish candlesticks, though for the short term at this point, volume does support upwards movement with a push on these various recent bullish candlesticks, particularly this most recent one here, with weaker volume around the accompanying bearish candlesticks. For the short term, volume does support upwards movement for Ethereum at the daily time frame. This trend indicated by ADX continues to increase. It is currently extreme, though as the negative DX line is moving in a somewhat haphazard way, the trend may oscillate between extreme and not extreme conditions at this point. It does expect price to continue lower. On-balance volume previously broken below support, giving a bearish signal, with price now moving lower, finding support at 2400. As it continues, on-balance volume may find resistance at prior support. RSI increases a little bit, previously entering oversold, where price found its most recent low at 2100. Money flow neutral and increasing. Both RSI and money flow have quite a bit of room before they may enter overbought or oversold, and additionally neither exhibit divergence at this point. ATR declines quite steeply as price moves sideways, previously increasing along with price, giving an overall bullish outlook for volatility for the daily time frame. And as this trend indicated by ADX is only extreme, it may indicate that the most recent low where price found support at 2100 could be sustained at this point, as I have mentioned previously with the model of ADX and RSI. Though we do still require bullish or bearish confirmation, a break below support at 2400 or down to 2100 would see price to continue lower, though a break above resistance at 2720 could indicate that the current low may be sustained at this point. On the weekly chart for Solana, this wave count sees primary wave 4 complete at this low here, with price to now increase for primary wave 5 and the end of cycle wave 3. Cycle wave 3 has a target calculated at 2887, which is the 11.09 extreme Fibonacci ratio between that and cycle wave 1. Though if primary wave 4 continues any lower, it cannot move into primary wave 1 price territory at 26.4105. Additionally, an Elliott channel is drawn around the primary degree movements using Elliott's first technique, from the end of primary wave 1 to the end of primary wave 3, with a copy on the end of primary wave 2. We can see where primary wave 4 has found support at the lower edge just here, and with these most recent 2 weeks, price has broken below this Elliott channel just here, though as price is overall expected to continue upwards for primary wave 5, it may find resistance at the upper edge of the Elliott channel as price continues. Though as this is a fifth wave ending a third wave 1 degree higher, it may end with a blow off top, as is common for cryptocurrencies like Solana, particularly at these large degrees for a fifth wave ending a third wave 1 degree higher. If that does happen, then price may break above this Elliott channel here, this low with the end of primary wave 4 on the weekly chart. Is this low on the daily chart? We can see some more detail for the very beginning stages of primary wave 5, currently expected to be within minute wave 3 of minor wave 1 of intermediate wave 1. An Elliott channel is drawn around primary wave 4 using Elliott's technique for a correction from the beginning of intermediate wave W to the end of intermediate wave X with a copy on the end of intermediate wave W. The end of intermediate wave Y has fallen just short of support at the lower edge of the Elliott channel, though as price continues upwards it has tested resistance at the upper edge twice now, and is expected to continue upwards for minute wave 3 within minor wave 1. As price continues upwards, a full green candlestick above and not touching this Elliott channel would support this wave count, seeing upwards movement to continue, and an additional high above 193.6182 would add further confidence to this wave count, as it is the invalidation for the alternate, which you will see in a minute, and additionally it would break the pattern of lower lows and lower highs. Within primary wave 5, any second wave corrective movement cannot move below its start at 111.4255, meaning if minute wave 2 wants to move any lower, it cannot move below this point. On this daily alternate chart for Solana, this wave count sees primary wave 4 incomplete to continue lower, currently within minute wave 3 of minor wave C of intermediate wave Y. We have a target range calculator between 95 and 84. 95.3167 is the 1.618 logarithmic Fibonacci ratio of minor wave A, giving us that target for minor wave C. And below that, 84.7439 is the 1.618 logarithmic Fibonacci ratio of intermediate wave W, giving us that target for intermediate wave Y. This gives a range for where these waves may be labeled complete. An additional confidence point is set at 111.4255, as it is the invalidation for the main daily chart, and additionally it would see minute wave 3 moving below the end of minute wave 1 just here, as is the requirement for a third wave. An additional high above 193.6182 would invalidate this wave count, as it would see minute wave 2 moving above the start of minute wave 1, which a second wave cannot do. Though if price does continue upwards, then minute wave 2 may find resistance at the upper edge of this best fit channel, drawn around primary wave 4. On the technical weekly chart for Solana, price has overall consolidated within support between 127 and 118 and resistance up at 210. For the short term, price has declined after finding resistance at 190. For the very short term, consolidating within resistance at 157 and support at 127, where price is currently. Volume supports upwards movement with the strongest volume on the upwards sessions and a push on the various bullish candlesticks over here. On balance, volume continues within a range, currently giving no signal, though it did previously give a bearish signal where it reacted to resistance followed by a little bit of downwards movement. ATR has previously steadily increased along with price, though it now moves overall sideways with a slight bearish slope as price consolidates, giving an overall bullish outlook for volatility. At the weekly time frame for Solana, as ADX declines, we use the model of stochastics in support and resistance, which suggests an upward swing may overall continue towards resistance at 157 or up to 175, where price finds one of those resistance points and stochastics may enter overbought. The previous downward swing may be complete, where stochastics fell just short of oversold, where price found support around 127 and 118. On the technical daily chart for Solana, price has overall moved sideways after its previous low, finding support at 118, for the short term declining after finding resistance at 157. There would be some additional confidence in bullish movement above 193.6182, which is this last high just here, which would break the pattern of lower lows and lower highs, as I have mentioned on the daily Elliott Wave chart. Volume continues to support upwards movement at the daily time frame as well, with the strongest volume on the bullish candlesticks and a push on these recent bullish candlesticks, though there is still some strength in downwards movement at this time frame within volume. At the daily time frame, ADX increases with a bearish trend that is not extreme and not yet in danger of ending, expecting price to continue lower. RSI is neutral and declining with a bit of room to move before it may enter oversold and quite a bit before it may enter overbought. Money flow is steadily increasing with quite a bit of room before it may enter oversold and a little bit of room before it may enter overbought. ATR steadily declining as price consolidates, giving an overall bullish outlook for volatility as it previously increased along with price. And as this trend indicated by ADX is not yet extreme, it does expect price to continue lower, supporting the alternate Elliott wave count at this time frame. This trend may continue to where ADX may reach extreme or very extreme conditions, while RSI and money flow may enter oversold and or exhibit some divergence. That's all for me with your daily update for Solana and the Ethereum Technicals. If you do want the Ethereum Elliott Wave count, we have done an update for that today at pureelliottwave.com, so you can sign up for that using the link in the description below. Thank you, and I hope everyone has a good day.